Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. I don't know how many of you saw the interview that legendary Nollywood star Emeka granted Your View in TVC. You know, Your View is a talk show of women where they talk about everything under the sun that is of interest to them. Emeka was there to talk about his new movie that he participated after almost 2 decades out of the film industry, called Malaika. And it was really a pathetic sight to see Emeka talking down on content creators, calling for the ban of social media, calling not for the ban for the regulation, because when you see people talk about the regulation, they are literally calling for the ban of social media. When they say that social media should be regulated, for crying out loud, social media is already regulated. Social media is not on a free reign. It's not a place you can do anyhow you like. There are consequences. So when you hear people talk about social media should be regulated, in fact, in that interview, he was talking about that blogs with no face, they are terrorists. So he was just so ballistic against the sharing and dissemination of information, which is a right given all Nigerians in the Constitution. And he ought to know it. He is obviously offended because his messy divorce was in the media. And he was the first person that brought it to the media, because even myself, I wasn't aware of his divorce and how messy the thing was. He was the person that brought it in the media before his ex-wife now came on board and gave her own side of the story. Because in this channel, I keep on telling people the dangers of a single story. Emeka gave his own story. His wife has come to counter his story. Obviously, he's angry about all those. He keep on throwing names around those who felt hurt him through the information they disseminated, through their blogs, through their whatever. So it's a lie from the pit of hell to say that the social media is not regulated. Those of us, we know what we put in to stop the National Assembly from making things so difficult for content creators. Social media is regulated. All the laws that are applicable to the conventional media are applicable to social media. So I don't know where they get this impression, where Emeka can get this impression that social media is unregulated. Social media is regulated. There are rules, regulations. Even several platforms have rules and regulations. And there are rules that are there in the Constitution that are applicable even to the social media. And then social media has their own regulatory process. You can't say because you're on social media, you say libelous things about people. So whatever you say, you should be able to defend it. There are people who have been taken to court and sent to prison for what they post on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. So it is preposterous for people to go about throwing all these words around that social media is not regulated, that it should be regulated. Social media should be regulated. Shouting all over the place. Social media is regulated. Anybody who is on social media that is not aware that social media is regulated is doing it at his own peril. He, Emeka, ought to know it. If there is anybody who has said anything against him on social media, he has a right to take the person to court and cite relevant laws of the country that are applicable both on the social space and on the terrestrial space. It's a fact. But I was pissed off by his constant bashing of content creators, blaming them for all his woes, blaming them for all his woes. And I saw even the ladies of the TVC agreeing with him that even they themselves, that their words have been twisted. If your words have been twisted, you know what to do. You give the correct version of your whatever you said. The space is there for you to counter whatever they said against you, for you to give your correct view. It is common for people after they have said something, when they regret what they have said, they now come back to blame it on the media. Oh, it was twisted. That was not what I meant. But whenever you put out something in the public, it is subject to interpretation. It is like the story of the blind man and the elephant. Each of the blind men described the elephant from whichever angle, whichever part of the elephant they touched. That is how the information is. When Emeka himself talked about the things he said that his wife did, how the wife used to slap him, do this and that on him, how he was terrified of what people would say about him and all that. It was his own side of the story when he appeared on Channels television. And people who watched it went away with the story that, look, this man has suffered a lot. This woman was terrible. This woman was this and that. This woman was this and that. I don't want to judge them. That's not my business. But that was the story that was out there. What Emeka had suffered in the hands of a woman. His story was so pathetic that it was a kind of thing that you will say, okay, before you marry, watch Emeka Ike's interview on Channels television with Ebuka's Robin Mines. But his estranged wife or ex-wife went to Chude and gave her own side of the story. And that side of the story began to trend. And now people began to weigh what Emeka Ike said and what his ex-wife said, to begin to find out where is this truth in the middle of whatever is going on there, or whatever went on there. Obviously, he was not happy. He thought that it is only that his own side of the story that should be discussed. But the woman has come out to give her own side of the story. Now, the judgment is out there, the verdict is still out there in the open on who is really telling the truth between Emeka Ike and his ex-wife. And that was in the midst of all those that he granted this latest interview to TVC. Your View. TVC's Your View program, which are which is a program anchored by women to address several social, political issues in the country. And he was now spewing that social media should be regulated. Social media should be regulated. I don't know what they should set up a special ministry to regulate social media just because he has issues in his marriage. Social media has done more good to this country than bad. Social media has done so well for Nigeria than anything else. Social media has been the liberator of Nigeria. Because if not for social media, one you could have imagined what would have happened to the voices of Nigerians who are now being heard from every corner of this nation. People's lives have been changed through the social media, and criminals have been found out through the social media and called out, wife beaters and everything. Social media had exposed them. Corrupt policemen have been sacked because of social media. Corrupt officials caught on camera on social media have been dealt with by their bosses. Social media has done more good than bad, more good than evil. So it beat my imagination when people like Emeka keep on running down the social media simply because they don't know how to handle their private affairs. And they brought it to the social media. They brought it to the people, public. Once you drop your private issues in the public domain, whatever you get seek, you will get it and more. Perhaps when he granted his first interview to Ebuka's Robin Mind program on Channels Television, he was seeking for sympathy. And he got it in quantum. People sympathized with him. People really people shedded tears on his behalf. You look at comments that people were making, they were really touched by what they perceived he passed through from what he narrated. Then come the bombshell, the wife's side of the story, and the son's side of the story. And in the whole mix, people are now debating who is saying the truth. Is it the father? Is it the son? Is it the ex-wife? Who is saying the truth? Because this truth must be in between. There must be a one truth in all the saga, in all the divorce issues surrounding Emeka and his ex-wife. There must be one truth. And truth is always truth. That is what Nigerians should find out by themselves after listening to Emeka, his ex-wife, and the son. There are people who have said so many things why the son shouldn't have taken side, all kinds of blah, blah, blah. But that's immaterial. You have listened to all the three sides. What do you think about it? And because these things are in the public domain, Emeka is no longer comfortable about it. But he was the first person that brought it. Now he wants to crucify content creators, that they are the problem of Nigeria. They are the one twisting issues. No, they are not. Content creators are only examining the information coming out from these three characters to seek the truth. And it is their right to narrate it and to examine it from whichever direction that they thought fit, as long as that information had been dropped in the public domain by the main characters. So if Emeka don't like to be discussed on mainstream or social media, then he should just make his private business his private business. and not make it a public business. And it's pathetic to see people who are supposed to be campaigning for more freedom for Nigerians trying to muddle the water, trying to create more opacity in the information dissemination in Nigeria. So pathetic. And perhaps that was why he doesn't understand the essence of change. The world has changed. Social media has brought changes that are unprecedented in the history of mankind. He has to adapt to this change. He is too slow to adapt to changes. That was why for over a decade, from his narration, he has kept away from the film industry, because the one he understood, which was the CD film recording, where he made his name. He said he didn't understand this new celluloid kind of movie that's going on now. That's why it took him a while. And this Malaika was his first in the big screen. He wasted so much time. If that is really it means that he didn't. Adapting to changes was difficult for him. But even older actors like Richard, Mother Fimo or something like that, they adapted this. They adapted on time. Even Loverboy actors who play lover boys in films like Ramsey Noah, they adapted. They move on fast to the new screen, big screen. But he was dilly-dallying, thinking the whole world revolved around him before he had moved to the new reality. Perhaps he needs to understand that the social media has come to stay, and nobody can ban it. Nobody can say that it is not regulated. It is regulated. It is only those who have not entered into trouble with social media will tell you that it is not regulated. It is regulated. Whatever you can charge somebody, if the person publish it in Guardian newspaper or any mainstream newspaper in Nigeria, whatever you can charge somebody for, you can charge the same person for also in the social space. A libelous material is a libelous material, whether it was said on the pages of newspapers or it was said on social media. These are facts. So people should stop. People like Emeka should stop disturbing the space with all this call for control of social media, as if social media is on a free reign. It is not control. It is control. It is control. What they are calling for, they are really what Emeka are calling for. They are calling for more control, and in the process, drive away views out of the social media, so that social media will just be a preponderance of their own whims and caprices. But that's not the intention of those who created the social media. It is to liberalize the information space so that everybody around the world can be able to say their own side of the story. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours. And don't forget, under this video, there are links that will take you to Jumia. Whatever you bought through this link, Jumia is going to give you 40% off from the normal price. In some cases, you can get 60% off from the normal price. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.